Okay. See the Ramban, David. Okay. The Gorel Echod Lazozel. When he draws lots, one's Lashem, and that's brought in the Beis HaMikdash. It's Pasuk Ches. And Gorel Echod Lazozel. What is that? Har Gavua Koshu Koshef. It's Tez Zayin Ches. It's a high mountain, a cliff, Eretz Gzero, which is with jagged stone. Tors Kahanim Lazozel. What is Azozel? L'mokem HaKosher Shebahorim. The most jagged mountain. That's where you throw it down. Yochel B'Yishuv. Maybe you should bring it in within a community. Let's say this mountain is within a settlement. Tamalo B'Hamidbor has to be out in the desert. It cannot be in a settled location. It's like in a wilderness. Uminayin Shitzok. And how do we know it has to be like a cliff which has jagged stone on it? Tamalo Eretz Gzero. Gzero means cut stone which is jagged. Fize Yepirish Milu Lazozel Lakoshe. It should be thrown down the most jagged, hardest part of the mountain in terms of the stone. Vukoful Hazayin. Go Izus Gibor. It's like reiterating Izus, powerful. Rabbi Avram, he quotes the Ibn Ezra. Kosav Amar Rav Shmuel Api Shekosav Besoyer Hachato Shul Hashem. Although it says one Gora, one lot is Lashem. Gavasor Mishlechu Lashem. Here. Even the sor which is thrown down the mountain is also Hashem. Ve'ein tzorech. So the Ramban writes what Ibn Ezra says. It's unnecessary to say what he says. That just is the korban is Lashem, lazozos Lashem. Ki ha-mishtalech inu korban. Because the mishtalech is not a korban. If it would be a korban before the Beis HaMikdash, shlo yishochet. Because if it's a korban, it should require shchita. Here, he says, if you understand the secret which is contained within the word after the word azozel, teda sod of sod shmo. You'll understand the secret, and the secret lies in the name azozel. This is the Ramban writing. Keish lo chaver b'mikro, v'ani agala loch tzas hayusod beremes. He says, but I'm going to reveal to you a slight part of the secret only on an illusionary level, the Ramban. V'yoscha ben shloshim v'sholosh teidano. V'nei Reb Avram nemon ruach mechased dover, he says, the Ibn Ezra is a faithful spirit, and he's really concealing it, because it's something which is on a Kabbalistic level. He's keeping it concealed. V'ani arochel megala sodo, but I am the merchant, I will reveal it. Shergolo sorabosenu zalvim kumus rabim, because Chazal already, this particular hidden meaning is revealed by Chazal elsewhere. Now he goes to quote. Omer Bereshis Rabbah v'nosa sor olov. It says the goat carries upon it all the sins of Klal Yisrael. The sor lazozel. You hear this? Ze Esov. Hazozel represents Esov. He's quoting a medrash. Shenemar hein Esov ochi ish so'ir. Right? What did Yaakov say to his mother? He says, how could I impersonate my brother? My brother Esav is a hairy man. So the soyer is also the goat. The goat is hairy. I mean, it's interesting. The Gemara says in Nochos that the wool of a sheep is called fleece. The hair of a goat is called hair. One's called tzemer, and then it's called goat's hair. Okay? As called avonos tam, it says avonosom. It will carry avonosam. Now, who's Ishtam Yoshev Olim? Yaakov's Ishtam. So the soyer carries avonosom, the avonos of the tam, the avonos of Klal Yisrael who descend from Yaakovinu. Shenemar Yaakov Ishtam Yoshev Olim. Tam. This is a medrash, quoting a medrash. He says it's explicit in Pikud Reb Lezer Godel. The Fichoch. Hoyunosin lo lesamach mem. We don't say the name. This is the Malach, which represents all Shochad b'Yom Kippurim. Here, the Sor Lazozel is we're bribing Samach Mem, bribery and Yom Kippur shel levatlos karbonim. So he should not undermine the korban that's brought in the Beis HaMikdash. Shenema gorel echod laHashem gorel echod lazozel. So why are we giving lazozel? It's giving, it's like stuffing the mouth of Samach Mem. He shouldn't be Mekatreg, he should not prosecute, not to allow the Korban, which is Lashem, to be effective. This is Pikad Reb Lozer. Gorolo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu Korban Ola. What is the Gorol of Hashem? That's Korban Ola. The Gorolo Shel Azozel Sor HaChatos. Chol Avonosam Shel Yishol Olav. All the sins of Klal Yisrael. Shenem of Nosa Sor Olav. Ros Samach Mem Shel Nibsu Memchet B'Yom Kippurim. All of a sudden, Samach Mem sees there's no sin. Klal Yisrael, there's no sin. He can't find anything to prosecute us with. Omer Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ribon Kol Olamim. So Samach Mem comes before Hashem, and he says, Master of the universe, this is the basis for why people stand on Yom Kippur, Holy Yom Kippur. He says, you have a nation which exists on the earth, which are like angels in heaven. Just as angels don't wear shoes, they go barefoot. They resemble Malochim. Yeah? Just as angels don't eat or drink, they have no need. Meaning they resemble, the behavior resembles angels. Just as the angels, they only have one foot. Right? That's the reason why we do Shemon Esrei Mechaber. That's why we put our feet together, because we're similar. We stand before Hashem like angels. We stand. Just as among angels there's peace among them. On Yom Kippur, that's the reason why we find, when does everything go back? On Yovel.
Oh,
Because Yom Kippur day, it's not a financial day. Could you imagine settling with insurance companies on Yom Kippur? Talking about earning. Right? Yom Kippur, you have more important to think about on Yom Kippur. Yeah, but the Shalom, only because the Shalom, that's why a person could have something for 40, 50 years, he could release it. He could give it back. The slave, the property, everything goes back. The Mishnah in the Tainus, what they called, Sadie Hawkins Day, the Shidduchim, it was on Yom Kippur. Right? That's what it was. This is a Yom Kippur to be busy with Shidduchim. And the poor women, the ugly, the this, the wealthy. The answer is this, because the Shalom in him, because it's a degree of peace. Therefore, all this thing, this could actually be addressed. Malach Shoros Nikim Mikol Chet, Kach King Yisrael Nikim Mikol Chet Yom Kippur. Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shomei Dusan Shel Yisrael Min Hakateka Shalem Yidus. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, here's the testimony regarding the positive scholarship from the ultimate prosecutor. Umechaper al Mizbeach Val Hamigdosh Val HaKohanim Val Kol HaMakol Shenemar B'chiper Es Migdosh HaKodesh Ad Kan Agodazu. This is the picture of Rebbe Lezer. Video Dienu Shmo Maseu V'zeh Soding. And he says, what the picture of Rebbe Lezer says, the Ramban says, this is the secret of the Sor Lazozel. Ki Yovdim Lelim Acherim. The world. Well, they worship deities. Well, what are deities? They worshipped angels. That's Elohim Acherim. Osam Korbanos Ve'im Lehem L'Reich Nichoach. They will bring sacrifices to the angels. Shenemar Ushmani V'Kitrosi Ushmani Nosati L'Fneim V'Lachme Shenosat Lem Sol Hashem Udvash Echalticho Sati L'Fneim L'Reich Nichoach V'Yinum Hashem Elokim V'Atotzorach Lizbonein. Because of B'Mikro, he says you have to reflect on the way it's written and the way it's read. Hine HaTorah Osher L'Gamri Kabol Sel L'Husam Chol Avodah Lahem. The Torah prohibits the Jew is not permitted, even to a goy, to worship, to accept that the angel has any independent power of God. Kodesh Baruch Hu commands us, we have to send this goat out to a desert, to the archangel that oversees all this area of desolation, which is the Midbar. There's no greater desolation than the desert. All churban, all destruction, all desolation, everything which is the antithesis of something that thrives and has life, that's desert. Who oversees this? That's the Samach Mem. That's the Sar, is the Sar. Kihu ha'elo lekochi acherev v'adomim in the Zodiac. The Gemara says in the end of Shabbos, who was born under the red star. That person is destined to be a murderer, right? So what should he be? He should be a moel. right? Or shochet, that he should express it in that direction. Hamilchomas, but that's the cause of what? All the wars, Hamrivos, Vaptsoim, Hamakos, Vapirud, Vachurban, all the fractalization, Vaklal Nefesh Galgil Ma'odim, V'chelko Min Umosu, and who's Odim? The red star is who? That's Esav. That's the representation of Samach Mem. That's Esav, is red. How it has to speak this Shabbos. Okay? Shu Mayorish Acherev HaMilchomos, and what's the lot of Esav? Achar B'chotichya. He personifies the Cherev, which is destruction. Vein HaBehemos V'asirim V'aizim U'b'chelko Od HaShedim HaNikro Mazikim B'loshon HaBeseinu. Also in his area, in his lot, you have demons, which are also Mazikim. Anything that has the destructive force, this is Esav, this is the U'b'loshon HaKosuv Seirim. Right? How is Shade referred to in the Torah in the end of Devarim? Sirim Yiraktubo. The goats will dance through the Sirim referring to the Shadim. Ki chen yikrahu vu Moshe Soyer. Eis Edom and his nation, they're called Soyer. Ve'ra kavora b'ser b'shalech she'eh korban li'tono elo chalilo. Ramban writes, it's not chas v'sholom, because says we should bring a korban to this malach, who's samach mem. Avol shtia kavanosei lasus rotzen boreinu she'sivonu kach. We're doing the will of Hashem. What's the will of Hashem? Famous Ramban. V'amoshel b'zeh. What is it analogous to? Person makes a banquet for his master. And the one who the banquet is being made on his behalf says to the one who's hosting the master, take a portion, give it to my servant, my subject, whoever that is. So the one is making the Suda, when he's making the banquet, preparing the banquet, hosting it, it's for the sake of the slave that the master is throw him a crumb. It's for the master. The banquet is made for the master. The master takes a broken piece of food, throws it to him. Although I prepared, if the master gives something to his slave, you give it to the slave. Here, what's the intent of the master? Because he wants that this slave should sing the praises of the host. Right? By stuffing the mouth of this lowly slave, him benefiting from the Suda, he's not going to go speak negatively about the host. Zetam HaGorolos, that's exactly the Gorol, Lashem, the Gorol Azozel. He's saying something else. We don't find the consecration. We said, what designates it as Chatos Lashem? The Gorol. Normally, when you consecrate a korban, it's always verbal consecration. There's a Chatos, there's a Shlom, there's an Ola. Oshem. This is the Gorol. Why? Because then it's as if you're consecrating, it seems to be. This animal is being consecrated for Samach Mem. That's a deity. He takes this animal, which is going to be thrown down the mountainside, and it's before Hashem. The Sol Hashem, Hashem says, say this one, throw this crumb to my slave, my subject. So they're both Hashem. Now Hashem says, give that to him. Hashem. So this is being given by Hashem to what? To the Samach Mem in the desert. Not the person is giving it. Who he built them Gorov Yodu Cheliv, and Hashem is the one who's designating it. And he's the cause because he brought it. So who's it attributed to? So the slave, this Malach, is beholding to the one who brought it. One second. Kin Shnemar Bechek Yutal Esagorov Hashem Kol Mishpoto. Kam Achrei Gorov Hoyimamidul Fnei Hashem. Even after he draws it, again he comes before Hashem. To reiterate Shushalo, the second law, that's also for Hashem. What that was sending out to the desert down the mountain, because that's the direction, that instruction Hashem has given. She'omar lefnei Hashem, yomot choy lefnei Hashem, l'chaper olav l'shalech oso amidboro. L'kach lo nishchar oso anachuk, if we don't slaughter it. Slaughtering, that's a korban. This is something, a gift Hashem is giving to Samach Mem. Go ahead.
Rabbi, you said that Hasatan is off that day.
This is why he's off. This is why he's off. What?
So why do you have to appease him?
Because he's the prosecutor. He is the prosecutor.
That day he's not.
Now the question is, why is he not? What do we do the avod in Musaf? Right? The avod is the equivalent of bringing those korbanos. We say all the psukim. This is, kolom parshas chatos. You say the psukim of chatos, and you understand what you're saying. Hashem vows, like you said, the chatos. So the chazan going through avodas Yom Kippurim with the vidu and everything else, it's equivalent of bringing the Sol Azozil. So this is also where Hashem goes and gives the Sultan something which is the equivalent of the Sol Azozil when we go through the avodah. V'tigum uklis, the shmo, the Urgam says, what is the meaning? Azozel, ke'echod l'Hashem, l'shem Hashem v'lo lo. V'asheni l'Azozel, v'lo l'shmo l'Azozel. Hear this? The one that's thrown down the mountainside is l'shmo. It's for Hashem, but it's not l'shmo shel Azozel. It's given to Azozel, but who do you bring it for? You bring it for Hashem. They're both for Hashem. That's idolatry, and that's why we don't shechita. You don't have verbal consecration. None of this. That's exactly, and that's why there's no shechita. Doctor, Herr Doctor, what? Go ahead, let's hear it. Hashem turns him off. That's why he doesn't prosecute. That's why he doesn't prosecute.
Azazel is a substitute for his prosecution.
No. Azazel means what's his name? That's the mountain, the jagged mountain. Now he said, what's the domain of Sodom, of Samach Mem? Samach Mem represents destruction, desolation, suffering, killing. Right? Because he's the prosecutor. So that's what the desert is. That's where he is. So you're bringing it to where he's located. Send it out there. That's the crumb Hashem says we're throwing to the Sodom. And that's why he doesn't prosecute. It's true. Hasoton is 364. Why doesn't he? Because Azazel. Because this. And what's Soyer? As he cites Chazal, that's Edom. He's Ish Soir. And it's Avonosam, Avonos Tam. The sins of the Tam, Yaakov Ish Tam Yoshiva Olin. This is all he's quoting Midrashim.
Why is that a crop for the stuff
No, it's a portion.
But how is that it's not being slaughtered the way?
Because Hashem says, give it to him. It's an acknowledgement. We're acknowledging him. Give it to him.
Because if you slaughter it, it would be considered idolatry.
It would appear to be idolatry. You bring a korban, lasozeh. You don't bring. That's called shuti chutz, whatever it is. Hashem doesn't even allow verbal consecration on us. Because what are you verbally consecrating? A korban which is Lashem. You do this is avodah zorah. You're consecrating something for a deity. So there's not even the consideration that that's what it is. Umneze Omer Rabbeinu quotes Ve'eschu Kosai Dvorim Sheitzora Mekachi Vem. What does the Yetzora? What does he prosecute us? V'umas Olam Yeshivin Aleim, and they also have what to say. The world. Levisha Shatnes. These are statutes, right? We don't have enough saying. Pora Duma V'Sara Mishtaleach. Sara Mishtaleach. Lomotzu Karbanos Tshuva L'umas Olam Aleinu. Came Alisha Hashem, and they don't understand it. Right? Because it's Isha Hashem, Al Basar Mishlech, Yeshiva Aleim. Hiyashu Shanu Osam Kamasem. They said, look, the Jews. No, there's a kitchug. You see what the Goyim say? See the Jews, they're behaving like us. How do you favor them? There's a kitchug. You're bringing a Sor Lazozel for this deity, but they don't get it. That's not what we're doing. They're both Hashem. Hashem says, take a portion, give it to him. Paraduma also. What is paraduma? What's Tumas Mes? Where does that emanate from? That's from the Chet of Vodom Rishon. Right? Why is the death? That's to remove the contaminated spirit. King Shnemar Ba'osid Es Anevim Vesruach Atmei Avir Min Haaretz Umizet Tovin Tam Kibus Big Day HaMishalech Es Asor LaZozel. Now you understand why he has to not only go to the mikveh, the one takes out the soul into the desert, he even has to immerse his clothing in the mikveh. Basorif is for anybody who has to... No, afterwards, as a result being involved in the... But why is he tummy? It's a korban. The answer is, well, what does this represent? You know, like, you're going to quote Menachem Tisser. When you sleep with dogs, you get up with fleas. You go and rub shoulders with salt, with the samach mem, you contaminated. That's the source of all contamination. Umashis kir rabseinu b'kibus abagodim shalparim nisrov nisira and nisrofim. It's also you burn it b'chutz lamachne. What's all this b'chutz lamachne? It's all this b'chutz because again it's that level of representation. Okay, and he goes. We'll just have one more paragraph and we'll finish it. I just want to finish. He says the Ibn Ezra, he alludes to this. He says that Ibn Ezra didn't want to reveal the secret, but he said since Chazal basically reveal it, he feels he has the right to reveal the Ramban. He says, you will no longer bring the sacrifices for the Sirim, Sirim is for the Shadim. Hamilu Mukevis. V'chavim Rabbeinu inim mevur zolosi im tachkor ma'inyan l'sichlim l'scholim and nivdolim bro zeyadeh beruchos. Okay. That's it. Just to be content. Yes, go ahead.
Moshe Rabbeinu understood the meaning of the
Why? Because Hashem revealed it to him.
Presumably,
Amazing.
presumably he passed it on to Aaron and
No, not necessarily. No. It's not clear. I mean, you take a look in the Ramban. No, it didn't. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. There's certain things maybe he wasn't permitted to pass on. Maybe he did. It says he did pass it on to some. The some he did pass it on to, not to all. It says he.
someone else was never privy to that.
No, never. Look, Yaakov was privy to Mashiach, right? To the kids.
Right.
Nobody else was privy to it. He was privy to it.
I'm just confused though. By doing that, going the one to Azazel, how does that? And
That silence that he doesn't prosecute. He doesn't prosecute us. That he refers to it as shochat. He's quoting the picture of Rebbe Lesser. It's like you bribe a person.
right.
It's interesting. I mean, you find parallels. When Yaakov sent the gift, when Yaakov sent the gift to Esau, it says in the Midrash, "Hashochet yaver eni tzadikim." Bribery blinds the tzadikim. So Rishonim kol koshkim. So Russia definitely it's going to blind him. No, you see in the parallel. And the picture of Lesser says that Sawyer, it's avonos tam. It's the sins of Yaakov's tam. Ish Sawyer. Yaakov said to his mother, how could I impersonate Esau if he's Ish Sawyer? So Sawyer is Edom. And what is the representation of Edom? Which is destruction. That's Samach Mem. Because he brings all destruction to the world as a result of his prosecution. I saw something this morning before I left. There's somebody gave me a sefer from a Friedlander. His son put out. You saw the sefer? It's very... No, it's much more than what you learn at Shabbos. It's beyond that. This is already on a Kabbalistic level. See, right? But he brings it down to an understandable level. See, he says over there, regarding the matzah, when we left Mitzrayim, it says we were rushed out with bichipozon, and the dough didn't become leavened, didn't become chametz. So he goes to explain something to this. He says there were two miracles. Firstly, the Mitzrayim, they rushed us. And also, we made the trek of 120 miles instantaneously from Ramses to Sukkos. This is all Chesed Hashem. Why? Because matzah, there's no intermingling of any chametz in it. Right? So he says, there's this prosecution. Everything is subject to prosecution. Hashem allows, but at a certain level, that representation can enter into that sphere. The Gula came from a sphere of Kedusha that he refers to. You cannot have Kitrug at that level. Yeah? And that's what matzah represents. The matzah represents that it was the hashkocha that the bread should not become chametz. So two things happened. Firstly, they were rushed from the Mitzrayim, but even if you rushed out, but till you leave, till you leave Mitzrayim, the dough should become chametz. Hashem caused another miracle. That we made the trek We had the Kvitzas Haderech. Within a moment, we were ready in Sukkos. 120 miles we traveled. Why? Because again, it's because that represents that there's no representation of what? Of prosecution. He refers Chometz is the klipa. That's a representation of the nether forces, the Chometz. Matzah is the purest of the pure, that Hashem does not allow any kitruk into that area, into that domain. And that was the basis for the Gula. So as a result of every year eating the matzah and doing and Onu v'neinu kilu chayvot l'rusas atzmo kilu yotzim mitzrayim, the whole thing with the matzah, it's reactivating that force which happened then. He brings it someone named Moshe David Bali, who was a Kabbalist same time as the Arizal. He brings it in his name.
They knew that they didn't know exactly.
I understand.
Right?
Good, okay.
So they would have prepared some food, even if they didn't have enough time to get it. They literally didn't believe it. Because they didn't know it was going to be a new.
No, we spoke about it. We spoke about this. Okay, we'll do morale for a few minutes. Avos Hashem. He said a phenomenal concept, morale, that the only times opposites attract, we find commonality attracts, causes love, like a person meets his fellow compatriot. There's a natural bond between them. A person needs something. A person's hot, he wants to cool down. A man and a woman, it's a totally different makeup. But the man desires the woman. Why does the man desire the woman? Because anything which is mashlim, which completes a person desires. A person's hungry, you want food. Because you need it. That satisfies you. It's something that completes you. It's not just satisfaction. It nourishes you. So even if it's an opposite, right? Opposites, we need it. The woman's not, but he has a chukah because it's mashlim him. But if commonality, even though it's not hashlam, it's not mashlim you, but because it's similar to yourself, that's the reason why we're attracted to one another. But he says, what about you have two craftsmen in the same trade? He says they hate one another. So he explained, because over there it's a giroin, because each one diminishes the other. Even though we have the commonality, we're both goldsmiths, right? But because we're vying for the same trade, so each one is a diminishment to the other. What brings Abba? Shleimus, hashlama. This is not hashlama. This is what we call chesaron. This is giroin. You're undermining me. So anything I undermine, that means I'm detracting from you. So that causes negative feeling. That's the principle he's establishing. So he says, so what's Avos Hashem, ultimate Avos Hashem? He says, there's no mitzvah, you must love your father, you must love your mother, you must love your Rebbe. But there's mitzvah yiro, revere. You have to revere your parents, you have to revere your Rebbe. Why is this Avos Hashem? Why isn't it Avos Rebbe, Avos Ovavimo? So he says, Hashem, if you recognize who God is, He sustains you. He wills you. Every aspect of your being is that because He wills that. So who's mashlim you? Who's makayim you? Who maintains you? Who sustains you? So of course, that generates avo. Because I need Him, and I recognize that He's the one who provides that. Once your parents bring you into existence, they're not maintaining you any longer. Therefore, a person could love his parents, but there's no chiyuv, there's no mitzvah to love your parents or your Rebbe. Therefore, but to revere, because that's recognizing what they are. That's a recognition. But Ava emanates from something else. That's separate. This is like, being driven out, eating the matzah, what they provide, some kind of question. Okay. I just came back from Ramat Beit Shemesh, not Beit Shemesh, Ramat, from the precipice of Beit Shemesh.
If you have a kesher with your Rebbe maintains you also.
No, but it's not. But even if he stopped at that moment, every moment he's not sustaining you. See, a wife, there's a Ramah, we'll get there eventually, Chayvei Beis, in Hilchos Nesis Kapayim, there's one opinion that a Kohen who's single should not duchen. Doesn't duchen. Why? Because the nusach of the bracha, the text is ba'avo. And a person cannot have true ava for another person unless he's satisfied, he's content within himself. And until a person has a wife that he's complete, he can't have that ava. So that's one opinion why a single Kohen does not duchen for that reason.
I would say more. I would say unless you have children.
No.
You really don't learn how to love until you have children.
But this different levels. I mean, the Mishnah says in Sanhedrin that a person who doesn't have children, no. That's the pray. That's praying. A Dayan on the Sanhedrin has to have children. Why? Because to have compassion.
Right.
No, there's two different. There is because he has a need. You pray for your family. You pray for the people.
You know how to pray.
No, you want to pray because you have the need. You feel the need. There, a judge has to have a balance of compassion, but yet with truth. But if you don't have the compassion component, or just cold-hearted, it's therefore this is not the person we appoint to the Sanhedrin. The person doesn't have children for that reason. Okay, we reviewed the Maral from yesterday. Let's do the Halacha. It's terrific, the Maral. Again,
He has so many players, doesn't even feel that he needs a shit.
because he doesn't see that Hashem is the provider.
No, of course.
Even though you may know it, but it's like a person that works for a company, he has everything, and he feels total entitlement that the company doesn't even do enough for him. So could he be appreciative? So there's so much interference to recognize that who you have to be beholding to.
He's not lacking anything.
Well, that's all what the Acharei. That's all his veil does.
It's against nature.
Smoke.
It's against nature.
Goes up
Nature
smoke
is to
to
breathe
breathe
yourself. You can have the physical things. That's why it's against nature. You take the eye out of it, and you have to substitute. That's a hard thing to do for people who are not educated that way.
Give you an example. A person's a child. He believes his father knows it all. There's nothing can. As he gets older, he doesn't know it all. He can't do anything. It's over. Why? Because the more you feel, it's not only intelligence. The more you come to yourself and you take on a certain independent persona, that becomes a diminishment of the parent to a degree. If there's the I, there's less of you. If there's no I, then there's more of you.
But you want that.
But it has to be done without an arrogance. You understand?
No.
And that's why a person has to be mentored. All great people were mentored. I always said, the Gedolei Yisrael, most geniuses are all off. They're eccentric, they're off. And, in their niche, why are they off? Every Gedolei Yisrael, they were geniuses beyond, but they were all mentored. They were mentored by a Rebbe. That means every aspect of their being, their inclinations, their investment of time, how they ate, what they thought, what they saw. There was an aspect of their life that was allowed to be drawn into the inclination. As a result of that, they were normal people. But if a person is only allowed to be drawn by his genius and driven by his genius, you know what it's called? As a Meshugana. He's crazy, but he's exceptional because he has one outstanding ability, because he could come up with the theory of relativity. Right? You think God would have a picture like Einstein with his tongue hanging out? The picture. With that kind of haircut. But if you don't believe in God, you could be that. And who mentored him? Another physicist, or whoever saw his genius in math and physics. Okay, David?